Thank you for joining us and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Ewago. Coming up on the show today, Tanzania rebases its economy. 2015 GDP now 3.8% larger. Zimbabwe scraps bond note and US dollar peg. Plus, German automaker Volkswagen South Africa targets record output despite headwinds. Let's get the show started now with the markets. And Nigerian equities market remains in the green, trading up 0.24% at intraday. The GCC index also gained, but Egypt fell by 0.39%. Kenya closed in the red on Wednesday. In the Middle East, only the Saudi market tilted to the red zone at intraday. The index was down 0.60%. Qatar gained the most, up 1.13%, Abu Dhabi up 0.74%, and Dubai up 0.06%. And in Europe, stocks opened mixed in the morning and amid cautious optimism, the world's two largest economies could soon secure a trade deal to end a protracted dispute. Investors' attention is also focused on Brexit. Well, we're hoping to get through to Daniel, and then we'll cross over to the Frankfurt Stock Exchange as soon as Daniel is ready to talk to us. In Asia, stocks were mixed today following an earlier slip in the morning as traders digest a release from the Federal Reserve. Mainland Chinese shares saw losses on the day after a turbulent session which saw stocks swinging between positive and negative territory. The Shanghai Composite slipped 0.34% to close at 2,751.80, while the Shenzhen Composite shared 0.269% to close at 1,444.35. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rose around 0.3% in its final hour of trading. Elsewhere in Asia, Japan's Nikkei 225 gained 0.15% to close at 21,464.23, while the Topix ended its trading day largely flat at 1,613.50. The Kospi in South Africa closed slightly lower at 2,228.66. The ASX 200 in Australia rose 0.7% to close at 6,139.20 as the heavily weighted financial sub-index added about 1.5%. And U.S. stock futures were slightly higher on Thursday amid reports the U.S. and China have begun outlining a deal to end their protracted trade war. Reports early Thursday morning said Washington and Beijing have begun drawing up memorandums of understanding over trade. Officials from both countries met for talks this week, and higher levels discussions are set to be held on Thursday and Friday. Investors also digested the minutes from the Federal Reserve's latest monetary policy meeting. The central bank highlighted downside risks to the economy from its January meeting. On the data front, a flurry of economic reports are expected throughout the day. Jobless claims, the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, durable good orders, manufacturing PMI, and services PMI are due later. And Tanzania has changed the base year it uses to calculate economic output to 2015, and data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows its economy was 3.8% larger that year. The Statistics Office had changed the base year from 2007 previously and calculated the economy size in 2015 at 94.3 trillion shillings at current prices, up from 90.8 trillion shillings using 2007 as the base year. Tanzania last rebased its economy in 2014. Farming remains Tanzania's economic mainstay. Industry and construction and services are the other key sectors. According to the World Bank, a new base year should represent normal operation of the economy. It should be a year without major shocks or distortions. Zimbabwe has abandoned a peg that was supposed to ensure its quasi-currency bond note would trade at parity with the US dollar. Zimbabwe began introducing bond notes to alleviate chronic cash shortages in 2016. Over time, the bond notes have devalued against the US dollar on the street, despite being officially pegged to the value of the greenback. Zimbabwe and Zambia have shortlisted American, European, and Chinese companies to build the Batoka Cargo hydropower plant. Preparatory studies, including engineering feasibility for the 2,400 megawatts power station, will be completed by end of the first quarter. A request for proposal will be launched by April, and the final developer will be appointed by September. And German carmaker Volkswagen South Africa unit expects to produce a record number of vehicles this year, despite a sluggish domestic economy, power outages, and looming talks with unions. The chairman and managing director of Volkswagen Group South Africa, Thomas Schäfer, says the car maker manufactured 126,463 vehicles in 2018, but will ramp up output to 161,900 vehicles this year, with 108,000 destined for export.
Boosted by the popularity of its Vivo and Polo models, Volkswagen was a South African leader in passenger vehicles last year, with a nearly 20% market share. But 2019 will present major challenges to the South African auto industry as a whole. The economy, which slipped into recession last year, is expected to grow by just 1.3% in 2019, according to the World Bank, less than half the global average. As part of a strategy to focus on new and upcoming markets, Volkswagen has signed agreements with governments in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and Ethiopia. Talks with the Tanzanian government, however, have stalled following staffing changes in the administration.
Strategically, you have the West, the ECOWAS region, Ghana, Nigeria. You have the East with Kenya, the EAC, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and so on. And you have Ethiopia at the Horn. So the idea that we are pushing very strongly, and in my second job, I'm also a president of the Association of the African Manufacturers. We are trying to connect Africa. So the idea is to say, hey, why don't we work together? Why don't we get these clusters right, acknowledging that regions like ECOWAS or EAC also want to have the automotive industry. But if every country by themselves trying to build up an automotive industry, it's going to be difficult.
Schäfer says Volkswagen will be tabling a Pan-African Auto Pact idea to the African Union in the next few weeks, in an attempt to connect the various regions in a way that will develop sustainable businesses and have garnered support from the World Economic Forum and the East African Community.
Big deal will be what we call Pan-African Auto Pact, where we connect the powerhouses of Africa into a Pan-African auto industry that could sort of complement each other in their efforts and accept local content in each region. And all of a sudden you've got sustainable businesses all over, not like little businesses everywhere that do everything. So the idea we bring to the African Union in the next 4 weeks.
Angola has also approached Volkswagen about possibly building an assembly plant and introducing a ride-hailing service, which is set to launch in Rwanda next month.